Hi there, how are you? Are you okay? Are you still excited about this? I am. I'm hoping that you are having a good time this week and we're trying to do lots of fun activities with you. And now we are going to do some science and we are going to review some information that you've learned before. So, we are going to talk about the different habitats. I'm going to turn the camera so that I can show you what I have here on my screen, okay? I will take you with me. There we go. So we are going to talk about different animal habitats. Can you think of some different habitats? Do you remember a few different habitats? Can you mention 3? I see a woodland. What are the other ones again? Do you remember? Think about that. Well, what is a habitat? Well, a habitat is a natural environment that an animal lives in, and it provides the animals with 3 important things. What would the animals need in their habitats? What would they need? They need food, they need shelter, and they need a safe place to raise their babies. So they need 3 different things, which are food, so it's really important that they find food in their habitat, a shelter, and a safe place to raise their young. So there are 3 important things why an animal can live in some kind of habitat. Okay, now let's try to think about these animals and where they live. What would be their habitat? What about the frog? Where would it live? What would be the habitat of a frog? Would it be in a nest, in a forest, like in between the snow and the ice, or next to a lake? Where do you think that you can find a frog? In the ice, I think. No? Oh, probably next to a lake. What about the polar bear? Where would it live? In a nest? Imagine a polar bear in a nest. That would be weird. The polar bear lives in the... There it is. Very good. What about the monkey and what about the bird? Can you match those to the environment? Okay, so what are the 3 things that the animals need in their habitats? What would a frog need in their habitat? What would it need? Well, it needs food to survive. So the frog eats flies, spiders, and those kind of things. They eat it with the tongues. And they need camouflage so that the other animals like otters, birds and fish won't see them. So that is why they are green. So they have the same color as their habitat. And they also need water because they need that for drinking and for laying their eggs in. So those are the 3 things that the frog needs in his habitat. Okay, but what about the polar bear? The polar bear needs different things in his habitat. So let's see what the polar bear needs. Well, they also need food, but they eat different things than the frogs. They eat fish, seals, those kind of things. They also need camouflage. Why would the polar bear be white? Well, because the snow is also white. So he can hide better in the snow so that the other animals won't see him. Also, the polar bear needs sea ice. Okay, so that is the habitat of a polar bear. And they live best in the Arctic Circle, so in the one in the North Pole or the South Pole. What about a bird? Does a bird need the same things as a polar bear? And why the bird is that kind of black with spots? Well, a bird also needs food, of course. Do you know what a bird eats? They eat small insects, berries, worms, those kind of things. And why is it black? Because it is the camouflage, so that the other animals who try to eat him won't see him. And they also need materials for building the nests, like little leaves and twigs and stuff like that. So they make the nest with those things, so that's what they need in their habitat to build a nest for their small birds to lay the eggs in. What about a lion? Would you find a lion on the North Pole? No, they need water because it is in their environment, it is really hot, so they need lots of water. They need prey. That means other animals that they can eat. That's what they do. And they also need camouflage. Do you see that the lion is the same color as his environment? Interesting, isn't it? And what about dogs? What do my dogs? What do they need in their habitat? They need water, they need food, and they need a place to feel safe in. So in the wild, this is a warm, dry place like a cave, but if you have a dog, like a pet dog, they would need blankets and a bed so that where they can sleep in. Okay. Pandas, foxes. Where does the fox live? Okay. Do you remember the difference between a living animal and an extinct animal? Do you remember what the word extinct means? Is that about an animal that still lives on the planet? What about a dog? Is a dog a living animal or an extinct animal? It is a living animal, right? Because it still lives. What about an elephant? Is that an extinct animal or a living animal? It still is a living animal. It still lives on the planet. But what about this? What is that? A mammoth. Is that a living animal or an extinct animal? Would you still find this animal on the planet somewhere? No, we don't find it anymore. Yeah, it lived many years ago, but now not anymore. So that means that it is extinct. Very good. So, could you maybe think of other animals that are extinct? Well, anyways, you can make one space for living animals and one space for extinct animals, and you can draw those animals into the right spaces. Okay, so now we are going to play a quiz, and we will do that in the next video. So I hope to see you there. I hope that you still remember. Bye bye.